All right, we are back for another exciting episode of Level Up Grappling Podcast. Coach Brian here, straight out of PCI Jiu Jitsu, Mission Viejo, California. We've got, obviously, catch wrestling legend from Down Under, Adam Tibbetts, with us, and friend of the show and amazing master grappler, Professor Reggie Almeida. You guys know him for beating my ass backstage at a Megadeth concert. You also may know him as the fitness trainer and jujitsu trainer to the band Megadeth, particularly Dave Mustaine, my hero, and also having the greatest school in Nashville. So if you need to go train when you're in Nashville, you go see Professor Reggie, and that's it. I don't want you training anywhere else. Reggie, thank you for coming back on, my friend. So let's start with you're leaving pretty soon, right? You got to go back out on the road with the
Yeah,
band.
we're leaving Friday, I guess, 26. Yeah, we're leaving on 26. We're going to Norway and spend like 1 week between Norway and Spain and come back. Then
Wow.
I'll take a break and we go back on the road in October. October is going to be the summer tour, some countries, Europe, and then I think, I'm not sure, but people in Canada will have a big surprise.
Ooh.
Big
And
surprise.
also and so the record's supposed to come out, I guess, sometime at the end of 25, right? They're having a new record, album number
Yeah,
17.
like right now, the class that I'm teaching, like I used to teach Dave at my school, he comes twice a week, right? But now he's so busy that he said, "Man, I'm sorry, professor, I'm behind the schedule, so I don't have time to train right now." And then I offered, you know what, man, I can go to your studio once a week. So oh, really? That's awesome. So right now I'm going there once a week. So I put the mats on the studio. Oh, I think I posted a video the other day that was playing there with Timo and the band. I don't know if
Yeah.
you saw that.
That was so
Yeah.
cool.
Well, just right after class.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you're like playing Dave's guitar, and you're like,
Oh,
"This is
yeah.
when I got fired from my job."
The guys were rehearsing. You know what? Let me grab the guitar here and just pretend I'm playing. So everybody was so fun. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so funny.
What I love about that is because the band is very cool. They're always like funny guys.
Yeah. They were so sweet, when you got me to come back last summer and got to meet the band. They were such gentlemen. Everybody was just so polite. And even the crew, like the road crew, when they were coming in to the waiting room where we were at, everybody was so nice to us, and the band was just, God, what gentlemen. Such sweet guys.
And you have to be
Um,
professional these days, right? Is everything you go, everywhere you go, everything you do. If you're not professional, you won't succeed. You might be on top for a while, but then you drop it very fast.
yeah. Yeah, they were all just so humble, and that show, boy, let me tell you. I wanna say it was because you gave them the pasaquitas before the show is what made them play so well. But, they were flawless, man. It is amazing when you get to see that level of musicianship. Uh, it's remarkable to watch people at that level of ability, where everything they do is just perfect. It's really incredible. So I do since you're on, I want to talk about how so we were gonna go backstage, we were gonna roll, we found those mats, we brought the mats to the little secret room, and then I said to you, "Hey, go see if Mustaine wants to roll a little bit." And then I'm, like, waiting there for a while, you come back with Adam Wardzinski. And you're like, "You thought I was just gonna let you bring some old man up here, you're gonna beat him up?" I'm like, "No, I just want to hang out and roll with the a little bit." And in walks, like, the number 1 heavyweight in the world.
Yeah, man. Was amazing, right?
Oh,
For me, it
Jesus
was like
Christ.
rolling with Adam. It's always like the first time I rolled with him was for me was very depressing, because I think I'm good, you know.
Yeah. You're amazing. So
I
we have to
compete a lot.
qualify that. You are an amazing grappler.
I compete a
Amazing.
lot, I can handle myself very well. But
Yeah.
with Adam, he made me feel like a white belt, you know.
Yeah, it's great.
And you know something that he said that was even worse, because I said, Adam, come on, man, put a weight on me, put pressure. And then he said, uh, why? I don't have to, you know? Teacher, oh my God, man. Oh man, I almost cried that day. I went to the bathroom, take a shower, and cried. Like,
Yeah.
he was going easy on me.
Yeah, well, he's so clean. What I was mentioning to Adam before, his execution is just so clean. Everything he does is just like, God damn, it's like perfect. His angles, everything he does is just like flawless. Really incredible.
Yeah,
That kid is
very humble,
amazing.
very humble
Yeah,
experience
very
for
humble.
me. I've rolled with like a world champs already, and it was always like a good training, for me too. But with Adam, wasn't good at all. Was just depressing. Just, I don't know. Just maybe I think I'm getting older, and this man, nothing that I do works, and this guy moves and moves already on my back, on my top of me. It's oh my God, it was
This is his execution. And then for me, the worst part is as I'm going, Adam, Reggie's talking shit to me as Adam is like doing his sweeps and all this. He's like, oh, I saw that one before. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, thanks, Reggie. Why don't you just grab him from the other end? Like, reality is, me and Reggie should have just been tag teaming him.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
it would have been a little bit
yeah.
more fair. Like, if I'm at his legs, he grabs his head, and then we try and like fight him together.
We might have a chance.
Maybe, yeah, because it was like it was ridiculous. No, it was just going down, down, down. There's Reggie just sitting there talking shit while I'm trying as I'm getting mauled by this guy. I
Oh,
couldn't clear his grips, man. Like when he had my pants, I couldn't clear the grips off of my pants. He's just so like he just knows what he's doing. His game is his game, It was crazy. It was really fun though.
I like him a lot. He's not a very professional guy. He gets the job done. He's very professional. I love that. I love like what jiu-jitsu became these days. With all these kids become like a professional athletes. Taking things seriously. Going to bed on the bed time, eating well, working out. Having like a routine like a samurai. I love that.
Yeah, it's
Way different from
very
when I started. That people after the competition will have beer to celebrate, drunk. Yeah.
yeah, he's yeah, totally a professional athlete and
Just,
just single-minded
just
focus.
I don't know. When did you start training? What year?
Me? 94. I think probably before he was born.
94. What about you, Adam?
Uh, Jiu-Jitsu,
Yep.
2000.
2000. Okay, so back in the I think 80s or 90s, I don't know, maybe Brian still remember that. But if you look at all the ultra heavy champs, back in the days, they were all big guys, obese. Now look today, who's the ultra heavy champion? Ripped, shredded, no fat. Back, and you see how the sport changed, completely. Ultra heavy for me in my time, it was a definition of a fat guy. Oh, he's ultra heavy. That means he's fat. But now
Yeah.
it's not anymore. Now he's just
Oh, no.
strong and big. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
They've become like super athletes and super, super technical, like with everything that they're doing. This is like masterful, really, really masterful with how they're
Yeah, but these
developing.
these days is let's talk about Brazil, okay? It's easier for a lot. Back when I started, we didn't have supplements. The first supplement that I had was called albumin, was from the eggs.
Okay. Yeah.
Albumin. Whey protein, it took years to get to Brazil, and it's still very expensive these days.
Mm.
But just supplements, for example. That's the only thing we used to supplement with albumin, eggs, and milk. That's the source of proteins that we could afford.
Hmm.
And now it's way different. Now we have like a lot of supplements companies in Brazil, nationals, good companies that produce supplements. Uh, this sport became more like popular, so we have more sponsors now. Now we have athletes that live in Brazil just to train jiu-jitsu, you know?
Yeah.
Having a guy like, for example, remember that most of the guys back in the days, they were all they all came from rich families. Okay?
Yes.
All of them.
Yeah.
Just a few, just a few like Tereri, for example, like came from the favelas, you know. But and now these days, man, all those people are having the chance to live from jiu-jitsu or just teaching jiu-jitsu or just seminars, you know, it's amazing, you know. I think it's awesome. I'm very happy, you know.
Yeah, it's very impressive. You know, one of the things I was gonna ask you, you said that where you grew up in Brazil and the lineage that you originally trained under is one of the non-Gracie lineages.
Yes, correct.
So, can you share with us some of that history of that lineage and who those people were?
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to Yano. Yano was another Japanese that passed through Brazil northeast. First of all, let's tell the truth, right? Mitsuo Maeda wasn't the first guy teaching jiu-jitsu in Brazil. It wasn't. Okay. Before Maeda, we had at least three that we know documented 3 or 4 other Japanese in Brazil already. The Japanese came to Brazil a long time ago, even before Maeda came to Brazil in 1914, 15, if I'm not wrong. Okay. Before Maeda, the Navy, Brazilian Navy, was looking to implement a self-defense program. Okay. The Brazilian Navy. And then what happened was they heard about the Japanese martial arts. That the Japanese had a war against Russia, the big country that they won. How those little guys can beat those big guys? And always became famous in Brazil. So the Navy, Brazilian Navy, was looking for somebody to start teaching martial arts in the Navy. Martial arts. They didn't know what it was, right? And then, luckily, one of the Brazilian battleships in 1800 something before Maeda, maybe 50 years before that, found 3 Japanese, what it's called, like cache something, when the ship sink and they stay in the aisle by themselves.
Castaway. Yeah, yeah,
Castaways.
like a castaway. Yeah.
Castaways. Okay, 3 Japanese castaways. So the Brazilian Navy rescued them. Okay, and decide to bring them back to Japan because they're going by Japan. And in the meantime, inside the ship, one of them who was a jiu-jitsu practitioner from Jigoro Kano, right? Jigoro Kano is the founder of Judo,
Sure.
Jiu-Jitsu,
Sure.
right? They all came from
Mhm.
Jigoro Kano, right?
Mhm.
So, so this guy uh, came with the Navy ship to Japan, and he started teaching Jiu-Jitsu to the sailors and the officer. Oh, that's what we're looking for. That's amazing. Let's go back to Japan, talk to the emperor or whoever there. Let's see if we can learn this. You know. And then when they get there, so they invite them. The Navy invited those 3 guys to stay in the Brazilian Navy. One of them said, yes, yeah, I'll stay with Brazil. So the emperor let him stay with the Brazilian Navy. So he went back to Brazil with the Navy ship. So that guy, that's when they start teaching jiu-jitsu in Brazil. And one of the first black belts per se was a Navy officer, right? I don't remember his name. But from there came the other lineage, you know, before the Gracies. Okay. When the Gracies moved to Rio de Janeiro, we already had these jiu-jitsu in Rio, but they were more like in the suburbs area of Rio de Janeiro, not in the elite area. Right? Where the Gracies, they had money, so we went to the rich area. So they just know each other when the other the other jiu-jitsu school saw the newspaper's announcement that Hideo was trying to promote jiu-jitsu back later, you know. So long story short, right? One of these Japanese, after this first Navy guy came, he went to spend some time in northeast of Brazil. The Gracies actually came from the Amazon, right? We were there first. That's where Almeida went to, Manaus, right? Where the Mika Galvão is from.
Mhm.
That's why the jiu-jitsu there is very strong over there as well, right? So, and they went, so they were going down to Rio. So they spent some time also in northeast of Brazil, going through Ceará, Pernambuco, then São Paulo, Rio. Okay. So on that trip right there, they left some students in northeast of Brazil.
Mm.
So they left two students there. So they left. And also the Ian was this Japanese that was stationary there in this state of northeast of Brazil. And one guy was like from the Air Force, soldier, Air Force man, right? Like a police officer, military police from the Air Force, Brazilian Air Force. Met this guy and then started learning jiu-jitsu from Helio Gracie because he was there before he went to Rio de Janeiro, and then with his student, and then with Yano. So, but the contact with the Gracie was very short when they left in the Japanese state. So he's pretty much, his name was Francisco Sa. And then he moved from Pernambuco to Ceará already as a black belt, right? And then there in Ceará, he had a son. His son is Francisco Sa Jr., right? Which is named for Sazinho, which is Little Sa in Portuguese, Sazinho. And then that's my lineage, you know? And then Sazinho was my professor from white to black belt in Ceará.
Wow.
Yeah, but also Sazinho, when he was training, he went to Rio to train with the Gracies, you know? So I always say, man, jiu-jitsu is all the same, you know? And today, in 2025, you cannot say that, oh, jiu-jitsu that didn't come from the Grace lineage, it's different. It's all the same. It's all the same. You know, it doesn't matter where you come from. If it's jiu-jitsu, it's all the same, you know? It doesn't matter your lineage.
Did
It's not like
you
it's not like kung fu that have different styles, right?
Yeah, monkey style, dragon style,
Yeah, it's
whatever.
all the
Yeah,
same, man. Scissor sweep everywhere.
yeah. So, did you then, when you were training with your coach, when you started to um kind of interact with Gracie lineage jujitsu practitioners, was there anything that surprised you, or are you just like, oh, it's the same? This I already do this.
It is actually I felt like kind of like is my jiu-jitsu good as their jiu-jitsu, you know? Because my jiu-jitsu didn't have the marketing that his jiu-jitsu had, right? Helio Gracie was on top of everything, a great marketer.
Marketer, yeah.
He knew how to promote the brand. It's amazing. We're here today because of him. Because if he stayed at home at his school just teaching, maybe he won't be here today. But instead, he would go to the newspapers and challenge karate black belts. You're a karate black belt, come to my school and I'll kick your ass. Big left in the newspaper. And you know, Brazil is the second biggest Japanese colony in the world. And doing that is very disrespectful. Okay, challenge another black belt, a master sensei in Japan, for example. You challenge a master. You know, who are you? You know, it's very disrespectful. So, and then as a respect, they had to go there and fight, right? And he knew that. He didn't care. I don't care. You know, I'm not Japanese. I'm Brazilian. You know, and as you good, if you good, as you say, you are, come and kick my ass. I promise I'll break your arm in 30 seconds or 2 minutes, and then that's what happened. You know, and now we're here today because he was a bully. Nothing more than that. You know. Yeah. I always say that a bully, it's a guy it's a friend that tells the truth without thinking to protect you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no
If
filters.
someone calls you fat, guess what? It's because you're fat. You know? If someone
much.
calls you a big head, man, it's because you're a big head, just accept it, you know? And that's the bully, you know? So he was just doing that, just being a bully. And tell him the truth without thinking what people would think about him. I don't care if you think I'm a bad person.
So with your line, Reggie, your original line there, is that similar to the Francafada line? Same sort of thing? Because they were from that area too, weren't they?
No, different. No, the father
Different?
lineage from the Navy guy that I told you.
Ah, okay.
That's the father
Interesting.
lineage. It came from them. Okay. But answering the question, Brian, about if I was more like afraid of is my jiu-jitsu worse than their jiu-jitsu. It might suck, but and then our school we had always to go to Rio to compete. Like I don't know if I think they still have these in Brazil because we only allow 2 person per weight division per team, right? Let's say if you are from Eddie Bravo, you can only have 2 featherweights, master black belt from Eddie Bravo. You cannot have 3. It's only 2, right?
Interesting.
So that got BJF, right? I don't know if you knew that, but if you check the brackets or the registration, you only see 2 per division. That's it. You cannot have more than that. And then what we had to do in Brazil, since our team was too big because we are together with a national team, was called Nova União, right?
Mm.
Nova União. And we had to go to Rio de Janeiro to compete with our the other part of the team in Rio. And then if the first, second place would be able to compete. That makes sense?
Yes.
We would have our in-house competition to see who's going to represent us at the Worlds or Nationals or what any competition that would have a big one. We would send people to Rio de Janeiro to compete with them, the in-house competition. If you get first place, okay, you're good. You can go to Nationals. If you don't, you're not going to Nationals. You cannot compete at Nationals. So that's what we had. And then we had to go. I went to Rio de Janeiro like a lot of times just to fight our guys there to see if I was able to go to Worlds or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sozinho, after a few years, decided, you know what? Why are we doing this? We have a great team. We're big enough to have our own team. And that's when they split from Nova União. They created our own team as in Fortaleza, in Ceará. Now we have SAS here in US, in almost not all over the world, but in different countries too. And it's still growing here in US, but you have here in US, like, I don't know if you know Gibson Sa. He's in the Carolinas. I don't know if he's north or south. I always forget. Man, he's amazing. And he's a younger brother of Sozinho. And we have Daniel Beleza that moved back to Brazil from SAS. That was like a featherweight champ too. A lot of good people. Daniel Tavares too. A lot of good. If you research later SAS, you're gonna see a
Mm.
lot of big names. Jorge Gugel, that for UFC. Pretty much everybody from my hometown, from my state, come from SAS. I'm not gonna say
Wow.
100%, but I would say 99.9%. It's
Wow.
it's not it's not it's almost impossible not being from my lineage if they come from that place from northeastern Brazil.
That's really interesting. How did they do the belt rankings?
Same thing.
Did they have anything? Same.
Same, all the same. No, like I said, there's not all the same, man. All the same. Because the belt system was created by Francisco Massu. Francisco Massu, the red belt, is one of the few red belts from Helio Gracie. He's still alive. And he was the creator of the rules and the belt system, belt colors and everything. And his nephew, Álvaro Massu, I don't know if he still is or he was for a lot of years the IBJJF referee, director, the
Mhm.
the top of the guy, for the rules of IBJJF. I don't know if he still is. I haven't seen in a while. But Álvaro Massu, yeah, if he's bald guy with a mustache. And Francisco Massu, he's still alive and he's in New York. New York.
New York, right? Upstate.
Yep.
I believe, right? He's the one that he's got the Kyoto school,
Yes,
right? I think he coached.
yes. Him and Professor Milton Hedges.
Okay.
Yep. So, but yes,
In-
so the rules came a long time ago. So everybody, because we always go compete to. So to compete, you have to follow the same belt system. You know, we had maybe I don't know different requirements, but every school have their own requirement, right, to promote someone. And
okay.
that's just like professor to professor, school to school. Every professor have their own requirements. Mine was the same. Mine, he created a system that you could get promoted in only two different ways. One, belt testing, two, competitions. Because back in the days, it was pretty much just competition. And then my professor realized that not everybody likes to compete. Not everybody was born to compete. And he said, it's not fair for me to punish someone just because he's not competing. He might be as good as the other one, or maybe sometimes better than a competitor. Because sometimes you get a competitor that is very good in one technique and he becomes a world champ. But he doesn't even know how to teach that technique. And a good teacher he always said that a good teacher has way more value to him than a competitor. Competitor is gonna take some medals and throw in the drawer, and then it's gonna get dust, and that's it. But the jiu-jitsu teacher, professor can always make sure that the lineage is gonna keep moving on. You know, we can always spread jiu-jitsu to someone else. Always gonna be contagious jiu-jitsu, contagiating jiu-jitsu. You know, it's more important than that.
Yeah. That makes sense. I agree with that. It's very important. So I have a question. I noticed recently you had a belt promotion at your school. So
Yeah,
congratulations to
thank you.
everybody that got their promotions. Um, how do you determine when somebody's ready for the next level?
Uh, it depends on the belt, right? For example, from white to blue, for example. I mean, I have my requirements too that I learned from my professor. Of course, I learned a lot from him. And one thing that I do, for example, I'm trying to implement a new system to promotions in my school, right? Every belt now has a minimum time, a minimum time, just like IBJJ. Okay? From white to blue, at least 1 year. That's first requirement. Second requirement, reach the number of classes that you have to attend. I don't remember how many, for example, but let's say for a white belt, 150 classes from white to blue, for example, right? Okay. And then there's a third one, which is a meeting with me, the head professor, or the professor that they meet with me and somebody else. If the guy trains with me, just me. If he trains another black belt, with me and the other black belt. So they meet us the first. Let's go back. Okay, first, okay, you reach your 150 classes, and then you have been trained for 1 year. Okay, it's time for us to have a meeting and say, Brian, let's talk next week. All right, let's talk next week. And then must sit down with you, Brian. You're amazing. You have doing so much. It's amazing. I've seen your improvement, but you are still holding someone's head from inside close guard. I need you to stop doing that shit. You know, I told you 1,000 times. And then when I see that you really change, and then I'm going to promote you to the belt. So this way, the student knows what he has to change. You know, that's one thing that my professor never did was this kind of meeting. You know,
Mhm.
he would wait for you to change and to learn by yourself. And I realized that some people will never change, man. Some people think they're doing the right thing to do, and they're never going to change. I think it's not fair. So
Mhm.
I like it better if I guide you. So every belt have different requirements, like for example, like the white belt to blue, it's average 2 classes a week. If you put it on the math, average 2 classes a week,
Mhm.
right? And then it keeps going up until brown belt 4 times a week, 4 classes a week in 1 year and a half. Multiply by that. The truth is, just a few are going to get the black belts in 1 year and a half. You know, because
Sure.
Just a few can train 4 times a week in 1.5 years. So I don't care if you train once a week. It's gonna take you 4 times, like 7 years from brown to black. It's up to you, you know. So I did those requirements, and I think one thing that I'm very proud and I'm very happy of doing now is those meetings. Because now I have a chance. And people say, "Oh, but I like the surprising thing." Yeah, but that's you. I have 300 other students that might not like that. Surprising. They're like, and I was saying, man, everybody, when you get into college, they know an average days that they're gonna get graduating, right? You go to the med school. Okay, in 5 years, I should become a doctor. I'm
Sure.
just saying example, or
Yeah.
whatever, Every college that you go, every class that you take, a course, whatever, they're gonna know, okay, you're gonna start right here, we finish right here. You know that. So why not do the same thing in jiu-jitsu? You start here as a white belt. If you do this, 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years for this, black belt right here. You go. That's cool. And it's not like when I started, okay? I started jiu-jitsu white belt. Oh, when do I get my blue belt? Yeah, shut the fuck up. We don't
Yeah.
talk about belts here. We don't talk about
Mhm.
belts here. Every time you ask, they postpone it. What are you talking about? Every time you ask, if the professor was thinking about promote you, he's gonna hold you another year. Well, you better be quiet because when you're ready, he knows you're ready. He's gonna promote you. Just be there and wait. I was a white belt for 3 years. For 3 years, I was a white belt, and I was about to quit because, man, what's going on? Why am I not getting better? Why am I not getting promoted? I see everybody getting promoted, and I'm not. Then after years, I went to talk to my professor that became my friend, and then I said, man, why did I suck so bad? Why was a white belt for 3 years and everybody was only 1 year? And he
Mhm.
told me it's because you were winning competitions. You were winning as a white belt, but I knew at that the blue belt you would not win because I knew who was competing as a blue belt and you would destroy you. So I need
Mm.
you to reach that level first of competition, so I would promote you to blue belt. I said, oh, that makes sense. He was thinking as a team, because the team needed the points for the competitions, and I think it's fair. I mean, I love that, but yeah, I think it was even better that he didn't tell me because if he would tell me, I would have stopped competing.
Uh,
Just to get my blue belt. Yeah, I think I'm not competing anymore. I'm going to retire. Just give me my blue belt. Was
man.
good. I like that.
Yeah, I always tell my students, I go, don't ask me about promotions. I goes, look, Chris Howder, my coach, he kept me from white to purple. It took me 10 years to go white to purple. I was basically 5 years white belt, 5 years blue belt. And when I had asked him years later, I go, why did you hold me so long? He says, because I saw people who were not as good as me getting promoted fast. And he says, because you were not training, you weren't competing to your potential. He's like, I knew there was more out of you. And he's like, I'm not going to give you something when I know that you could be better at that belt than what you're giving. And he says, like, it doesn't matter how much you're coming to class. If I see you half-assing it, he's like, I'm not going to give you something when I know that I'm going to hold you to the standard that I know you can be.
It's just like I answered the question that part of the answer is I don't like to see people in a comfort zone. Every time I see one student in his comfort zone, uh, I'll do something. Maybe I'll promote him, maybe I'll ask to do something, but most of the time it comes with promotion. Like especially I'm talking about competitors. Right? I have this guy that he was winning everything and he signed up to do the Pan Ams. And he was competing as a blue belt. And then the Pan Ams, I knew at the last day to change the registration, right? So one day before I promoted to purple belt. One day he says, "My professor, I'm going to Pan Ams." I know. You better go change your belt now. And then he took a second place, as a purple belt in Pan Ams. But just because he was too cocky, confident.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, man, you got to move out, man. Move out of the comfort zone. That's how we get better.
Yeah, absolutely. So for you, um, what would then define, like, if you're going to take somebody from blue belt to purple belt,
Hmm.
what would really define a purple belt to you? When do you know that they're ready to go from blue to purple?
I think a purple belt must know everything that I know, all the techniques that I know. Not at the same level, but
Mhm.
roughly, he should know everything, because that's the blue belt is the time that you should spend the most time of your life, is the blue belt because that's a foundation. It's everything. White belt is just to know what jiu-jitsu is. I
Mm,
think as soon okay, I know jiu-jitsu, okay, blue belt, whatever. Now you're ready to start learning, and then you actually start learning as a blue belt, and then blue belt, you learn, you um, start actually blue belt, you learn, right? You learn everything, and I think everything, generally speaking, I think it's like going to med school. You go
mm,
to the med school, and then okay, in med school you learn everything: heart, lungs, brain, blah 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 blah,
mm.
and then and as soon you realize that you already know everything, right? Okay, purple belt. And go be a purple belt. And then the purple belt, you're going to find out you already know everything, but now you're gonna find out by yourself what you like the most. You know, that's when you have that finding. I think it's as a purple belt. And then when you find that already, that's what you like the most. And then you just have to sharpen it, and that's when you sharpen it as a brown belt. You know, and the brown belt will become that you sharp that and everything else around. And then as soon you realize, holy shit, I don't know nothing. Now black belt. Okay, now you're black belt. And the black belt to me, it's way more beyond the mats. So we're talking about requirements, right? A black
Yeah.
belt to me has to be someone that I trust my kids, my grandkids with. You know,
Mm,
a guy that I know his family, a guy that I know very well. So if I have my granddaughter that's 3 years old, if I need someone to babysit, I can call one of my black belts without no doubt. It becomes like a brotherhood that I trust 110%, with my kids. If I have a little tiny bit that I don't, then I cannot promote it to black belt until I can have that feeling. And I have those requirements, the minimum classes, right? The minimum time and the meeting with me. The meeting with me can be, man, I need you to stop drinking. I need you to, I don't know, stop beating your wife, you know?
yeah.
So something like that. Like, and then one day maybe a black belt. But if I was you, I would quit because I'll never give you a black. And I love to say that. I love to say that you will never be a black belt. You don't deserve it. But
Yeah.
I say that as a kind of like a special force thing, that I want you to prove that you deserve it, that you can change that. It's not like people think that, I don't know. My wife understands, but she's says that I'm rude because every time I see my students, I say, "You guys will never be black belts. Never, 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 never under my name." You know why those guys are black belts right there? And I show the wall that I have a picture of some black belts. You know why? Because they never quit. I pushed them, they came back. You know. But you guys, nah, you guys are going to quit. I'm gonna make your life so miserable that you're gonna quit. And then or change rules. But they're still there, man. Keep moving.
It's true. You see a lot of people like that. They quit. They don't like, a particular, they don't want to train too hard or, you know, I've had guys where they've quit on me. I go, look, you're quitting because of yourself. Don't put this on me. I go, you need to listen and not be like a petulant 6-year-old. If I'm telling you you're not doing something correctly, you come back and you work harder.
Man, for me, a quitter, always a quitter. Always, 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 always a quitter. Okay. Let's say you have a white belt that quits. Okay, bye bye. And then 2 years later he comes back. And you're gonna be so happy. Oh man, he's back. Yes. Guess what? He's gonna quit again. It's just a question of time. And you know why? It's because they already know how easy it is to quit.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very easy to quit.
Yeah, when they quit the first time, the second one is like, I think it's like getting divorced. Yeah, do you have ex-wives?
Oh, yeah.
How many?
I have one ex-wife.
One ex-wife. How about you, Adam? Adam? I think he froze.
Froze.
Yeah. Yeah.
2. There you go.
Two
Yeah.
ex-wives.
Yeah.
You see? To get the third ex-wife, it's much easier. You already know how it is. You know what? I'm full of this. I'm out. Bye bye, baby. Boom, done. Right? It's very easy, man. It's very easy. So jiu-jitsu is it's worse than that because jiu-jitsu with way more thing involved, you know? I mean, I'm not so not easy than that, but it's the same thing. I like to be able to lose his job. Of course, the first thing he's gonna cut is like a jiu-jitsu. He can afford, that's fine. And the next time he moves out of the town and whatever, he finds I always say, man, there's only in this life, you only have two options. Only. There is no three. It's only two. The first one is you find a way. The second one, you find an excuse. Simple as that. Everything that you decide to do in your life, you only have two options. Option A, find a way. Option B, find an excuse. And that's it. You know?
We need to make a shirt of that, Reggie. That's so good.
Yeah.
But philosophically on point. I need to make a post with your
Yeah.
face, your picture.
Yeah.
There's 2 life, you have 2 find a way or find an excuse.
That's it, man. That's it. There's nothing. My life is like that. I tell everybody, man, oh, you want to train jiu-jitsu? Okay, so what? You guys have two options. Find a way or find an excuse. Who? Well, it's because I can't afford. I don't have time. That's it, man. You know, when I started, my class was like 7 a.m. in the morning when I first started jiu-jitsu, okay? And I lived in a suburb area in my hometown. I didn't have a car. So I had to take the bus very early and then pack my stuff, go to jiu-jitsu, and after jiu-jitsu, take a shower, go to work, work 8 hours, and after work, went to college, and then after college, went home to my wife. Okay, I did that for a few years. You know why? Because I want to do it. It was very easy for me to say no. I don't have time because I'm going to school. I have a wife. I have college. I have you know what? I want to do it. You know, and I'm doing it. I'm still here today because for me to quit, man, actually, I don't think I ever quit something in my life. I was kicked out. It's different. I don't think I ever quit something, you know? Actually, Adam, I quit one thing, but I came back. I realized that I made a big mistake learning to play guitar.
Yeah.
Okay. I moved to Nashville like 15 years ago, and everybody who plays guitar, you know what? I bought a guitar. And I started playing. But you know what, man? It's too hard. I put it aside. Don't have time for this. It's too hard. I told myself, this is too hard. I don't have time for this. And I put it aside. Okay. Months later, a month or 2 months later, this guy walked into the school. First, I want to quit. Okay, no problem. Sign over here. You're done. May I ask why? And he said the same thing that I told myself, because it's too hard. Man, when he said that, I forgot about jiu-jitsu. I forgot about the guy in front of me. The guitar came to my mind. Right away, it was a slap on my face. You quitting because it's too hard. You woos, right? You say woos? Pussy. You quit your woos. You quitting because that's what I thought when he said, I'm quitting because it's hard. And in my head was compare myself with the same guy. And I quit the guitar. No. Went back the same day to the dust of guitar. And until these days, I play with my guitar. You know, because I'm not quitting, man. If I start something, yeah, yeah. I still suck, don't get me wrong, you know. I still suck, but I try, you know. I'm still learning.
And you've got and you've got Mustaine. Have you ever asked Mustaine to show you some stuff?
No, man, because it's like I am in the kindergarten, right? And Mustaine is a PhD teacher.
Yeah.
PhD teacher, you know?
Yeah.
He's a very good teacher, don't get me wrong, because actually he tried to teach me and says, no, Dave, I kind of like refuse, you know? But then my son, was trying to play something. He came, oh, no, try this way, this way. This way. Very good way teaching. And I was just, oh man, he's a good teacher. I didn't know that. I thought he would be much, but it was very, very cool. He's very, very kind, and yeah. Yeah, no. So another thing that I'm learning, I decided to learn different language. Okay?
Okay.
I speak Portuguese, of course, barely English, but I have a Dirk that speaks French. Dirk, and I always catch him up speaking with someone in French. One day, what's the name of the band that opened the Olympics, man? The Gojira?
Gojira, yeah.
Yeah, right? So,
Yeah, they're French.
yeah, they're French. So one day we were talking there, and then Gojira came and sat down. We were talking in French. I said, man, sucks not understanding French, And then I decided to learn French. Now I'm kind of very well now learning French, but I study like 15 minutes a day. That's my goal. Just decide why, because I can, not because I want to. Yeah. And yeah, that's it, man. Just quitting is not an option.
Yeah, that's cool. So Dirk, does Dirk help you a little bit with the French?
I just saw him once after start learning because actually I want to make him a surprise.
Oh,
The last time we spoke, says, man, next time I see you, we're gonna speak in French. And this time I saw him, I start speaking French, and he kind of, oh wow, that's awesome. So yeah, man, I'm learning 15 minutes a day. So that's very cool, professor. And we start talking a little bit in French, and everybody was looking like, what? Yeah, man, I can learn something. Yeah,
that's
very
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so you gotta, and I think it just helps the brain anyways, right? When you're picking up extra things to
Yeah,
learn.
man, I wake up every day 6 a.m., but I don't have to work nothing. So I grab a cup of coffee and I sit on my office and I do like 15 minutes, sometimes more if I have more time, but that's it. And then with no pressure, no commitment. I just sit down and do Duolingo.
Duolingo, yeah,
Duolingo is
okay.
amazing, man. Amazing. I love it.
Yeah. Duolingo is very easy to pick up on, and like they have like little games, right?
Yeah,
To
Adam, do you
learn the
speak
language.
English? Yeah. Or just Australian? No, man, you guys, for me, English is my second language.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand the accent, like the Australian, New Zealand, Scotland. Oh my God, man. We're going to Scotland, right? And I'm taking my wife, and every year we go somewhere, me and my wife on vacation, right? Last year we went to Italy, and this year we're going to Scotland. And I said, honey, the only thing I'm not okay with Scotland is because over there they don't speak English.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? They do us? No, they don't. They speak something else that sounds like they think it's English. And then it's going to be
Yeah.
hard for me because in Italy, I can ask them, can you speak English, please? What am I going to say in Scotland? Can you speak English, please? It's going to start.
I know what you're saying because years ago when I was in the UK, I was down south and I was in Brighton and I was staying at this hotel and I'm sitting at this bar just trying to meet people and these two guys are talking to me and I couldn't understand anything they were saying. I was like, "What is this language?" And the bartender, he says to me, "Oh, they're from north of England by Scotland." And so he had to translate because I could not understand one bit of what these guys were saying to me. I'm like, "There's no way this is English." He's like, "Oh, yeah, it's English, but it's this Scottish English thing." Like, I don't understand. So he had to translate the whole discussion
And you want
because I couldn't understand anything.
and you want to make a speaker, English speaker. So I'm not. So it's harder for me, way harder.
Yeah.
Adam,
Yeah,
I
I
think I'm
couldn't
going to see you
understand any of
next
it.
year, Adam. I think I'm going to here. I I think so. That's the plan. Australia, Japan. Yeah. Yeah. If you follow me on social media, if you see that we're going, hit me up, okay? Because I will forget. Yeah. Send me a message because then it's gonna be fun. Yeah, mate. It's me, mate. It'd be awesome, man. Yeah.
Yeah, Adam lives on a farm. He's got pet kangaroos.
Really? I want, you know what? I want to try. I want to try to eat some kangaroo. I never had a chance to eat. Uh huh. It's good. Tastes good. Really? Did you eat? Like, I had. I was walking down there and I saw this. I think it was liver or heart. I don't know. Kangaroo. You know, a piece of meat. I took some photos, sent to my wife. It was kind of like a man. I wish I could have it, but I didn't have time to eat. But next time. Oh, maybe I'll go there just for the barbecue. Yeah, I'll go there just for barbecue now. Since you're saying that, yeah, okay. Like beer, I heard it's like beer. Oh, what about this Vegemite?
Oh yeah, we were talking about that before. Yeah,
Oh my God, have you had this here, Brian? Brian, have you had this,
they.
Brian?
I haven't, but I was going to order it because I was
Oh,
talking to Adam about
this
that. I got to order.
this tastes like poop with salt. Same taste. Same taste. Man, it's horrible. I don't know how these guys well, here. And if you pack a piece of poop and put it on like as a pasta with salt, sprinkle, it's the same thing. It's horrible. I don't know how you guys. Oh, it's look fillet here.
Oh my god.
You see? That's good. That's good still. That's good stuff. Yeah. Meat is fine. I know it's lean. Oh, kangaroo wrap steak. $17 a kilo, Australian money. What about this? You know what this? You shoot one in the backyard. You know what this?
Me, the poor vegan, and you guys are looking at
You're
animal
vegan.
flesh. Yeah,
You're vegan.
yeah,
Hey,
like jerk, man.
you know what this is?
Oh my god.
Dunk. Duck. Australia, yeah, from the Chinatown there. Is duck tongue.
Oh,
Here's the duck. The head is the tongue. Delicious.
oh my.
Right?
I've never eaten an animal in my life. Never.
Why, man? They're tasty.
No,
Never?
never in my life. No,
Because
I
you're
was raised
poor? Like,
vegetarian.
are you from Brazil
Yeah,
too?
no. So I was because I was raised vegetarian. You know, my parents are from Cuba, but I was raised vegetarian, and then I've been vegan like I don't know,
Oh,
almost
that's
20
the
years. Yeah, so no dairy. Yeah,
Cuba, the people
yeah.
don't eat meat, right? Pork, they
They,
don't have money.
they yeah, they eat pork, they eat meat, but my dad was a athlete, and so my dad, he was always like, you know, you have to train for optimum performance. So my parents were very much like, you have to eat clean, clean. So that was just their mindset always like train us to eat clean. So no, I never ate anything.
Sorry, too bad
And
for
then
you, man. Sorry. It's okay.
uh,
It's okay.
more animals for you. You can eat them all. I'll pet them. Me and Dirk, me and Dirk will take care of the animals and we'll try and save them from when you guys are eating them.
Yeah. You know what?
Yeah, there
I
you go.
was having lunch one. I wonder Dirk was with us, and I saw this like a burger that was a vegan burger that tastes like a real burger. Had it says on the label, right? Tastes like a real burger, same burger texture. So why? If you're vegan, eat a fucking lettuce or tomato, man. Why are you gonna eat something that tastes taste and look like a real burger. It doesn't make any
Those are
sense. It
transition.
doesn't make any
No,
sense.
I don't eat that. I think that's really transition foods for people that want to go.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I think they make that for people that want to move over to
Oh, okay,
plant-based,
that
they
makes
can't.
sense. That makes sense. That makes more
No.
sense because if I was a vegan, no, I'm good.
No, I don't eat that. I mean, it's just like the stuff we eat in the house
It's like
here is
being a lesbian. I'm sorry, okay? Do you have you watch this video here? It's like being a lesbian and using a dildo. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I get it. Oh, he cut out again. Um, so okay, so the tour that you guys are doing, you're starting in Norway, and then you guys are doing like a couple festivals in Europe, right?
Wait a second. Let me give you a precise answer. Good. I like to be. Right now, we're going to Norway. I think it's a festival, tons of rock.
Yeah.
And
And
then
there's a couple other festivals you guys.
only one, another one. We have 4 days off, and you have another festival in Spain, Ville.
Oh, nice.
And that's it. We come home.
And then come home, and then the next part of the tour is
It's it'll
when?
be in October. October. The first show is September 22nd. Actually,
Okay.
September 22nd. We're going to Istanbul.
Oh, that'll be nice. I've never been to
Istanbul.
Turkey, but I heard it's beautiful.
It's okay. Oh, it's okay. It's good. It's good. It's good. People there are very friendly. You know, the food is amazing. The Turkish coffee is the best. You know,
Yeah.
Turkey, and then after Turkey we have Denmark, and then I don't know what this is. Uh, uh, what's DE? German? No,
I Denmark, I think.
no.
D
Stuttgart.
is
Stuttgart is not Denmark. Stuttgart is German, right?
Stuttgart. Okay, Germany, yeah.
Yeah. So Germany, Zurich, Budapest, Prague, Krakow, Poland.
Poland. Okay.
Amazing.
That'd be fun. So you
Yeah.
got Europe in the fall.
Yep, all the way to October the 9th. And we end at UK. We end at Dublin, London, Birmingham, Manchester, Glasgow. Yeah, that's it. That's
And
why
then
my wife is coming to see us.
okay. And then you guys got they're gonna I'm assuming because Dave said that they were releasing that album in sometime at the end of 25.
Yes, that's the planning, right? I don't know how that's going to be because I have no control of that, but they're working every day, right? Dave is doing the vocals, still working on some parts, solos. I heard a few of them. It's of course it's always amazing, you know, incredible. Timo has a lot of things in this album, a lot of parts, and I think everybody's gonna love it, as always.
Oh, I can't wait. I've never had I've loved all the albums, you know. So I just love everything that comes out. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm assuming then they'll do another US tour in 26.
Oh man, yeah, I was talking to Dave about that because this year they barely touring, right? This year was almost nothing. And I said, man, I'm not an expert on the music industry, but I believe that if this year we were very slow, the reason for that is because we did like 2 tours in US, right? Back to back. And I think the market needs to rest a little bit so they come back. So, and then, yeah, that's why I told Dave said, yeah, man, next year, tell your wife that she's barely going to see you. That's what he said. He said already, Pacific, Japan, Australia, South America, Europe, US, and Canada. So I don't know how they're
Jeez.
gonna fit all of them in a year, but that's what they plan to show. I mean, that's yeah. I know for sure, like US, absolutely. Next year for sure.
Yeah, they're gonna have to, especially with when the new record comes out, they're gonna have to just bombard the US. So we'll have to go do it again in LA. We'll have some fun.
I hope they don't do the festivals again this summer because I don't like them. You know, the Hellfest, Rest Pop. You know, it's too hot.
Yeah, very hot, huh?
It's too hot. I can't wait for this in October. It's gonna be awesome in the fall. Oh, beautiful. You know.
Yeah. That'll be, much easier for you, and then you won't be sleeping. Then you guys you'll be on the road nonstop.
Mhm.
Is it easy for you when you're training the guys to just get them up in the morning and get them to the gym and
No,
or is there pushback?
no, not easy at all. Not easy at all. Because
Oh, really?
actually, it's just Dave and Timo pretty much, right? So I set up a new routine on the last tour because this was working very well now. You know, we go to a gym, to the gym. Uh, when we are in a hotel, it's pretty much a rest day. You know, so we try to go to the hotel gym, but what I really like, the routine actually happens when the show day. You know,
Mhm,
because I already have a setup for two things going on. The assistant there that works there, they find us like a gym to go train with, jiu-jitsu, not jiu-jitsu, gym to lift weights, right? And our lunch and dinner is already prepared. So I send them ahead, like for this week, what we need for lunch and dinner. You know, if we have like a cafeteria, right? A cafeteria, now what it's called, you know,
like the catering, right?
yes,
Catering?
yes, we send to catering, right? And
Mhm.
then if don't, like for this in Europe, like we won't have, it's gonna be hotels pretty much. So it's easier, you know. But catering is because sometimes we're traveling, we have to eat what they have to offer. Right? And sometimes you get there is hot dogs and burgers.
Right.
And I said, Dave, nope, we're not doing that, man. I'm gonna send a menu for lunch and dinner. Not breakfast. Breakfast is very easy, it's just eggs, you know, and but lunch and dinner, no. We need to eat some steak, pasta, chicken, some real food for lunch and dinner. And that helped a lot because everywhere we go now, for example, we're taking the bus today here to LA. And arriving in LA tomorrow, for example, we already have a gym to go, you know. So the driver take us to the gym and then we came back, shower, and then lunch is already prepared for us, what I requested, you know, for the day, rice, lettuce, asparagus, and ribeye, for example. And then boom, and then dinner's already for us as well, you know, and everybody look at us because everybody's eating hot dogs and burgers, and we having this pasta with chicken breast, you know, like real athletes, you know. And that's man, I said, Dave, now we are in the paradise. Now we talking, you know. Because before, man, I hate it. And I says, Dave, how can you do this, man? How can you have popcorn for breakfast? Oh, that's what they offer. Man, you don't understand. You are Dave Mustaine.
Yeah.
If you say I'm gonna have kangaroo steak for lunch, guess what? They're gonna find a kangaroo steak and give it to you.
Yeah.
And he says, "Oh, that's a good idea. Let me work with you. Let me prepare like a menu. You know, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, and I'll count the calories, the macros, and then send to somebody. Somebody's gonna take care for us. I mean, that's it.
Mm.
You know, now my life is amazing. You know, with that. I like to eat a lot, so now I'm good. I'm happy now. You know. I'm happy. Have my breakfast, my lunch, and dinner. I'm good.
So when you guys let's say when you're flying to Europe, do you send mats there, or do they already have mats for you to train if you guys were gonna do some jujitsu?
This week in Europe, we're now bringing mats. You know, I'm gonna try to find gyms to go train there, jiu-jitsu. I don't know if it's gonna be easy to find, you know, but if we don't find, it's okay. It's just 1 week, so it's pretty much having 2 days off because Greg only trains twice a week jiu-jitsu. So it's just like let's take a week off. You know, let's have some fun, enjoy because we're gonna have like 4 days off which they're supposed to be working on a new album on those days. So they're
Mhm.
taking a lot of things there to work, you know, on the album. And yeah,
Mhm.
That's cool. So, what's Dave's progress been like with his jujitsu? I mean, obviously, we'd love to have him on the podcast sometime to ask him himself, but as his instructor, how would you describe his progress and also him as a student? Because I know he's been a lifelong martial artist, right? So,
Yes, yes. Technically speaking, he's already very good, you know, in technique speaking, What I'm still working with him, and he's like concepts of the jiu-jitsu
mm,
world, how it works, Because man, jiu-jitsu for Dave is like self-defense, you know. He's never gonna go to compete or teach jiu-jitsu or own a school, maybe own a school one day, but he likes the martial art lifestyle, you know, and he needs and I'm working with him like the concepts of how it works, the belts, not the belt system, but like the questions that you ask for what when do I think someone is ready for the next belt? Uh and concepts, that's we learn on a daily basis. It's hard to come and prepare a class. Oh, let me teach you today how to behave, blah, blah. No, it's how it works, and yeah, things like that, but his progress, it's very fast, man. It's amazing about how smart he is. He's like out of the charts, like he's like a prodigy. When someone is very smart, prodigy, right?
Prodigy.
mhm, yeah.
Yes, he is for sure. Like to play guitar or anything. One day I was counting, like we had to count those little like cans that we're giving away, but we had to give some, parade them,
Mhm.
and then I was one by one, he counted 200. It's what? Yeah, I counted right. There's no way. And then I counted, yes, 200.
Huh.
Man, this guy is like a photograph memory or something like that. It's, bro, 200. There's no way. You gotta count. No, I counted. It's 200. It's holy, man. And you play guitar, it's something also that amazes me because he can play with two fingers, instead of using the four fingers on the chords. Oh, we were just talking that. I don't know if I said this already, but we training one day, and he asked me, "Oh, what if you get hurt your elbow?" And so that's okay. I have my other elbow. We can still train. Let's do it. You know. And then I said that, and then months later we trained, and they said, "Oh, Dave, what if you hurt your finger?" And he said, "Oh, I mean to play." No, I said because they were training in the morning, it kind of like he hurt his finger. No, oh, shit, you hurt your finger. Can you play tonight? And then he said, "I have 9 extra fingers." Says,
Isn't that wild?
"Oh man, you can play with." Yeah, I can play with how many fingers necessary. He said that. If I have to play with two fingers, I'll make the show with two fingers, but the show is gonna happen. And he actually did show me. He showed me like play with only two fingers, some solos there. It's just, oh my god, man, it's insane. Insane amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy because I've seen him do stuff before, like little clips online where he's showing somebody something or he's demonstrating something, and the speed at which he demonstrates, I'm like, dude, you would have to slow that down. And I've been playing basically my whole life, but the way he connects to the guitar, I don't think people realize just how big he is of a player. Like, he's all encompassing, and I don't people don't understand, like, he's literally pulling it down from the ether, and it just comes out because he can do stuff that when you hear other guitar players talk about it, when I've heard Marty Friedman talk about it and other guys that have played with him, they're like, "I couldn't understand how he was playing something." These are guys that are, like, some of the best musicians in the world going, "What he plays is incredibly technical, incredibly hard, and I had to really figure out what he was doing because I couldn't do it, you know? I don't think people realize just what a how masterful he is
Yeah, but
at
he
craft.
he also can do that in slow motion, because I was comparing like a music to jiu-jitsu. Like in jiu-jitsu, when someone wants to hide something, they show the technique very fast. You know, it says, "Hey, can you slow down? Can you show me very slow?" if someone can do something very slow and still show up, because when you slow down, that's when you see all the flaws and mistakes, right? So they're used to the same thing. When people go, whoa, 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 something to me, slow down so I can do it. And they can do like, then you can see everything. Oh, now you got it, you know? And I always tell my students, man, no, you can only do fast, professor. It's because you can't do it all. You know, if you can't slow down, don't do it. Try slow first, and then later on you can speed up. But first, slow motion. I need to see this in slow motion so I can make sure you have doing all the steps. You know, because when you go fast, it's very easy to skip some steps and achieve the same result sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
that's true. Does he have a have you noticed, like, that he has a favorite position he likes to play in jujitsu?
Um, he likes to fight my half guard.
Okay.
No, he's having improving a lot his half guard too on the bottom. You know, but I feel that every time I play half guard, he's get becoming easier for him to pass now. No, I might have to change and transit. And it's funny because I hurt my back last week, and on the last session, I took my son with me to help. And then I said, Dave, now you're gonna self defense, you're gonna box a punch and take him down. Right. And my son, he's 180 pounds, a little bit heavier than Dave, but about the same height, you know. And then he took my son down very easy. Boom. I says, oh, I says, wow, why was so easy? It's because I'm 250 pounds. He's just 180. And you used to take me down.
Mm,
No, now it's much easier, you know. It's, oh, now it makes sense because he always wants to train with somebody about his size, you know. And then I see that's why, you know, train with me, you're gonna be good, you know, because if you can't survive with me, man, you can't survive with anybody.
yeah, it's true. You're a beast. Trying to move you around is just like
Yeah.
wrestling a bear. It's not easy. That's cool, man. So how do you, how bad did you hurt your back? You think you're going to be okay for the plane? How badly did you hurt your back? Are you going to be okay for the plane to get on the plane?
Uh
You're okay.
man, I think I'll be okay. Uh right now I don't have pain, so I'm sleeping well, you know. And also I'm flying first class.
Oh, okay. Well then, if you're like,
Lay down. Man, it's the best nap of my life. 'Cause nobody's gonna talk to me. It's just lag flat. It's good. I think you'll be fine.
I did because my shoulders have been so bad for years. Back in March, I did the what do you call it? Stem cells, and I also did exosomes in my shoulders.
It helped.
Oh my god, it helped so much. I found a place here by me called Rejuve Anti-Aging, and they did amazing. And then I was taking afterwards, I was doing these peptides, BPC 157 and TB 500, and my shoulders are working well again. Like, this is the first time in almost 30 years I haven't had any pain in my shoulders because I had the torn rotator cuffs in both shoulders and slap tears in both shoulders. So now I can use my arms again, which is great.
My back, I start working out towards a different program, you know. And on my first exercise, I blew my back. Ah, man, there was so much
Jeez.
pain. So I came home, I taught class, but the next day I couldn't walk. So much pain. I went to the ER and took an MRI, and they found like a three herniated disc, three from 82 to 85. You know, very bad inflammation. The doctor said, "Man, I don't know. I'm between surgery or not because you're very, very high risk right now." You know, but he sent me home with some like steroids and some muscle relaxer, and then he said, "Take this for 5 days and see how you feel. If you stop feeling pain for the next 7 days, it's gonna be physical therapy, and then start working out slowly again, and then let's see how it goes." I said, "Okay."
I think you got to try these peptides in your back because I gave to a friend of mine. I put some in his back. He doesn't exercise at all, and he got in a car accident, so he has very severe back pain. I shot him up a couple times, and he's like, I can't believe how well I'm moving around.
I'll
Oh,
try. Yeah, I'll try everything.
yeah.
First, tomorrow is my. I was supposed to train tomorrow, like physical therapy. Today, I was teaching a private lesson. This guy, man, he's 61 years old. He came actually. I was teaching one private lesson with another 62-year-old guy. And I had a meeting with this one so they can meet each other because they're about the same age. And this guy kept talking about UFC, MMA, blah 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 blah. And he says, "Okay, let's fight." He wants to fight, you know. And he says, "No, okay." Yeah, and I forgot about my. And he says, "You know what, man? I'm gonna sit down right here, and you just have to mount me." You know what mount is? Yeah, yeah, I know. Let me try. Let me try. He wasn't being respectful. He was just excited, you know. And he said, "Okay, how much time do you need?" "Oh, 1 minute." He said that. 1 minute to mount. Okay, that's awesome. But of course, he didn't. He guessed out, you know. But I forgot about my back,
Boy.
and then I felt the pain. Like, oh my God, why am I doing this, man? I feel like my job. Sometimes I feel like a prostitute. People pay me to use my body, you know. Like,
Oh yeah.
oh, man. Yeah, I felt something.
You got to be careful,
Oh
man.
shit. But I'm
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
do
just
it.
that one thing, right?
Yeah.
You get that one guy that spazzes out on you like that, and then yeah, you're screwed.
Oh, because the guy was so excited, so happy, you know. He's 61-year-old. He's like a financial guy, you know, banker, but talks about UFC. I love UFC. Man, I hate UFC. I give him look like cold shower, you know. I hate UFC. I hate MMA. I don't do that. I don't do no gi. I do only once a week in my school just to make my customers happy, you know. But I hate that class. I hate the people that take that class. You know? I just don't like it. Mm.
That's so funny. All right, well, I got to come out there one of these days. I'll do the no gi class for you. I go spank everybody. I go do the no gi class.
People love it. People love me. People love that Eddie Bravo thing, you know, those names that you guys created. I would say you white people, you know,
Yeah.
created because in Brazil we didn't have names for nothing. Now we have names for everything, which I like it a lot, you know. But like for example, oh, Anaconda, Das Joke, all these names I learned here in US. Okay, another one, Kiss of the Dragon.
I don't even know what that is.
Me
Like,
neither.
I don't know these names.
It's
They
sweet.
change the names like every 5 years. I don't know.
Isn't that cool? Kiss of the Dragon. I don't know what it is, but I know there is a thing called Kiss of the Dragon.
Or what about the honey hole? Have you heard about the honey hole? Sounds so gay, but apparently there's some position or move called the honey hole. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know.
And
Nothing.
somebody was asking me, hey, what do you do with the honey hole? I'm like, I don't know if this is like, you're just coming on to me, but I don't know what you're talking about. What's a honey hole?
You
They're
know,
trying to show me this thing. I'm like,
you know, I'm going to be looking it up on YouTube,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
And I'm
I
I'm
don't know.
assuming I'm going to get some weird ass videos too.
we should. You know what we should do? Create like kind of dictionary. You know, like what is the honey hole? Like Dars Anaconda. I still get confused with Dars Anaconda choke. I mean, if you create a list with Dars Anaconda, honey hole, Kiss of the Dragon.
This is the dragon.
What's the other one? Electric chair. Electric chair is okay. Mary Bravo, it's old now, but there's another one. Alzheimer.
Mission
Bag,
Control.
Yeah, housing bag or
Yeah.
Alzheimer guard or something like that. You know, like
Oh, I don't know.
yeah,
They changed the name. And I was just like, you're just turning this way, you're turning that way. I go, look, if you're doing this, it's a figure four. If you're turning your arm here, it's a figure four. If you put your legs like that, it's a figure four. I go, back in my day, we just called everything a figure four. Why do you care? You put on the left arm or the right arm.
we call Degarami. What's up?
Yeah, Udigarame. Exactly.
The 1, 2,
Okay.
and 3. You had 1, 2, and 3.
That's it. It's just like, exactly. Like I trained like the judo way first. So I don't know, like when they keep changing these names depending on who the new popular guy is and they call this, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. I can't. I always tell everybody when I'm doing a clinic or something, I go, I don't know what you guys call this these days. I go, I'm just going to show you like this. Here's a crossbody pin. I'm going to wrap up the arm like this. I'm going to take a figure four. We're going to rip it this way. That's it.
Yeah.
Don't make complicated.
Yeah,
Make it
but
easy.
I like the names because the name helps to remember. Like before, I would go to compete and I would say, "How did you win?" Oh man, he opened my guard. I put my foot to his hip. I bring my ankle behind his ankle. I pull the collar and push the sleeve. That was cool. But now people say flower sweep. Oh, okay. So when they have the names, it's, yeah, okay, I got it. Before I had to describe everything and in my head to memorize and picture, that was very hard.
I can't do it.
Now
I
I just
can't do
say,
that. For me, it's too much. It's too much. I'm not that smart.
yeah,
It's a
same
lot
way.
to remember. It's just like, okay, grab the leg, grab here, sit
Yeah,
up, get on top.
that's it. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
make easy, get on top. There, that's what I want you to do. Just get on top.
Yeah,
yeah, man,
whichever
get
way
on
you
top.
do that. Whichever way you do it, just do it.
Get around the legs. I split it very simply. I go, you have the southern hemisphere and the northern hemisphere. I go, if they're on their back looking like a cockroach, stay in the northern hemisphere. From three, I look at it like a clock. 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, stay above 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock. In the northern hemisphere, stay away from their legs. Very simple. If they're belly down, then
We're
you
talking
stay
about
in the southern
jiu-jitsu?
hemisphere. Yeah,
We're still talking about jiu-jitsu? Okay.
yeah. Simple, right? Exactly. But otherwise, I can't. How am I going to do? Exactly.
I talk about
But
angles, you have to be above 90-degree angle. People, what's a 90-degree angle? It's, oh my God. I have to teach mathematics now.
Not here.
I try and keep it. I try and keep it basic, guys. I can't honestly. I can't remember the names, Reggie. I really can't because it seems like they changed the names for the same stupid move.
Yeah.
They called it one thing 5 years ago. 10 years ago, it was called something else. 15 years ago, it was called something else. So I can't remember every 5 years they change the name because I'm not around the young people
Yeah.
so much.
I just refuse
So
to
I
learn.
don't know.
I just refuse to learn, I'm good. My brain's already full. My hard drive is already full. There's no space for more names.
Exactly. And then
Exactly.
and the thing is, and what they don't understand, and this is like us old guys will understand this, but it doesn't matter what you call the move. If I throw you on the mat with Reggie, you're going to get your ass kicked. He doesn't need to know the name of your entry. He's going to beat your ass. So why does it ultimately? I don't care what you're going to call it. I'm going to throw you against Reggie. He's going to fucking maul you.
I think
That's
people
the end.
I think people create names also to become famous, I guess. To say I named that position. Because when I teach somebody, people ask me, oh, what's the name of that? And I'll say, oh, it's a Brian choke. I say, Brian choke? Oh, okay, cool. And that's it. So they know that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. That's how I learned. That's how I do it. And name? No. The choke that I do from the top, grabbing the collar, pushing the head. That's it. It's a choke. Name? It would be better if I had a name for that. That's a cool, a good idea. But I don't. I'm not that cool.
Yeah, we've had a few where my students were like, "What do you call this?" I'm like, "I don't know." Well, we have to make a name for it. I'm
Do
like,
it.
"Why?"
Call whatever you want to let me know. It's cool.
All right. So I know we've taken a lot of your time, Reggie. So let's wrap this up. Give us some good wisdom, some Professor Reggie wisdom for the students that they don't want to quit. Let's say somebody doesn't want to quit and they want to progress. So we need some proper Professor Reggie wisdom to keep them on the path of growing their jujitsu and they want to get better. So what do they need to know from you?
Okay, hold on. Let me just see if I understood the question again. Can you repeat the question, please, sir?
I want your wisdom for somebody, let's say they're not going to quit. Now we know
They
most
want to
people are
quit
going
or they don't want to quit.
They
they do not want to quit. They're not, they are focused. They want to continue.
Don't change.
So let's say we have that percentage of people, they're not going to quit, but they need to know they don't have access to Professor Reggie on a daily basis. So what do they need to know from you so that they don't quit and they can progress in a good way? What would be your wisdom?
So first of all, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You know, there's always a light. Sometimes it's a train coming on the coming back to you. It's gonna crush you, gonna smash you. You know, be careful with that. It's really not. But man, one thing is, uh, everybody gets better. You know, on different paces, of course, but everybody gets better. You know, and actually, I'm writing a book. You know,
Ooh, nice.
the book is it's why I didn't quit. You know, it's why I did not quit. Why I did not quit came with I quit every day too. Well, what do I mean? It means that every single day in jiu-jitsu, I quit. You know, but for real, it's not a joke, okay? Every day that I come home, that I train hard and I get smashed and I lose, because that's my goal when I train, right? I'm not going to the gym to smash everybody and kill everybody. I go there to try new things, to try to explore, to try to see if I'm getting better at something and to test, right, something. And most of the time it doesn't work and I get smashed. And I realize how bad I am, how much I suck. And I come home by myself alone, taking a shower, and I cry because I suck at this. I've been training for 30 years, and how can I be that bad? Okay, how can I lose to Adam Varziskin? I know he's a world champ, but doesn't matter. You know, I'm not that bad too, you know? And then you know what, man? I'm gonna quit this. I'm just gonna teach a few classes, you know, go try with Megadeth, teach them, you know, be the coach. That's it. I'm gonna quit my athlete uh, phase of my life. I'm gonna quit. That's every single day that I train, right? Now and now, Sunday I didn't train, I'm good. I'm not gonna quit. I love the jiu-jitsu thing, you know. But the next day when I wake up, as soon as I sit up on the bed, because I went to the bed with that feeling, I tell myself, you know what? I'm gonna try one more day before I quit. But if today doesn't go as well as I'm thinking it's gonna be, I'm going to quit the shit. I'm done. You know? And I go through my day, train, get smashed again. And guess what happened again when I get home and take a shower? Same thing. Same thing. I cry, I get depressed. I wake up next morning, I tell myself, you know what? Just one more day. So one step at a time, I'm still here, you know, with a broken back now. But I still stuck. I'm still trying, man. And tomorrow's gonna be the same thing over and over and over and over again until I die. You know, the thing is, if everybody, if anybody keep moving, there is no way, man, you're gonna get better. Playing guitar, for example, you know, learning French, for example, you know. And I try those things because I like to challenge myself. I don't like to be like everybody else. How many languages do you speak, Brian?
2.
How many languages do you speak, Adam?
3.
Okay, so I have to learn 2 more. I can lose to you guys. You know, that's who I am. That's who I am, right? I speak a little bit Spanish, English, now French, so I have to learn at least 2 more to beat Adam. You know, and I will. It's just a question of time. Okay, just give me some time. Okay,
Okay.
but that's who I am. I like to improve myself. I always like to see myself as a better than everybody else, but not because I am. It's because I'm looking for. I have to. You know, that's who I am. I want to be a better person. I want to be a better human being, a better teacher, a better father, a better. I don't like to be like everybody else. That's why I have these right here. You know, to be different from everybody else. I don't like. That's who I am. And my wisdom that I give it to anybody that wants to quit or don't want to quit, man, that's just give another day, you know, just see what happens. But every day you give another day, you know, and every day, just try, man. You gonna trust me. I know a lot of people that jiu-jitsu changed their life for the best. A lot. So I have pictures on my phone here from my students, you know, that everybody that comes to me, professor, jiu-jitsu changed my life. It's not only a cliche. I actually became a better person. We know that. We train jiu-jitsu. We know how capable jiu-jitsu is, right? And on the other side, I never had one single person in 30 years of jiu-jitsu that came to me and said, "Hey, Reggie, jiu-jitsu ruined my life. Start training, I lost my wife, I lost my job, I lost this, blah, blah, blah. I started doing drugs. I have zero, 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 zero. So why not give it a chance? If it's something that's only brings the good for everybody, man, just move forward. Keep going. One step at a time. One step at a time is very important. I think the short goals are very, very important so you can reach your long-term goal. Otherwise, that's mistake that a lot of people do. They set up goals way too far away and way very hard to achieve. I tell my students, you got to set up short, medium, and long-term goals, right? But you have to be realistic. You cannot set up a goal, oh, I'm going to be a world champ this year. Man, you didn't even start training yet. How can you be a world champ? It's not going to happen. Don't lie to yourself. Your first goal is going to be, I want to train twice a week. Good. And then set up the medium-term goal and then the long-term goal and work to achieve those goals. It's not just plan to become the best guitar player in the world and go to bed every day watching TV and I'll play tomorrow. It's not going to happen. Just be realistic. That's
Love it.
That's my message.
I
hope
love
it
it.
helps.
It's a great message. Good message.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Adam, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. We definitely got to get Reggie out here, give you some kangaroo steaks.
Yeah,
Brian,
awesome.
we'll bring you out here too, Brian, and I'm sure we can find, I don't know, Amanda into
Lettuce
something for you.
from
Vegetable.
Oh, yeah.
You have a vegetable farm. I'm just going to eat your vegetables.
Yeah, that's cool.
Lettuce.
Just go help yourself. Final thoughts. It's always a pleasure. Thanks, Reggie, for being here. It was great to have a chat and listen to your thoughts and wisdom. And I'll definitely add you on socials and we'll have a talk and see if we can get you out here next year.
Please do. Thank you.
Keep training, guys. That's it. That's all you can do. Just keep going.
Yeah, I agree. Reggie, I'm so glad I've had the pleasure to have your friendship and your association and your ass kicking and your wisdom. So I want to thank you again for
My pleasure.
coming
Anytime,
on.
guys.
And I look forward to when you guys are on tour out here again, so we can do it again. And then I'll get out there to your area and I'll do a nice little no-gi clinic for everybody.
All right, that'd be great.
So you can sit back and just
Yeah.
chill. I'll give you the day off.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right, guys. And it's been awesome, guys. And with that, we are out of here.